You've been deceived. For years, you've been fed a comfortable lie about what women truly desire. Society, media, even women themselves have constructed an elaborate facade that has kept you chasing shadows, investing in the wrong qualities, and ultimately failing to understand the fundamental nature of female desire. What if I told you that everything you think you know about attraction is based on a profound misunderstanding? That beneath the surface of polite conversation and dating, advice lies a philosophical truth so powerful that it would transform how you approach every interaction with women. Today, I'm going to reveal what Nietzsche understood about female psychology over a century ago. Insights so profound and controversial that they've been systematically hidden from mainstream discourse. This isn't just another dating strategy or pickup technique. This is about understanding the philosophical underpinnings of desire itself. Nietzsche, perhaps more than any other philosopher, peered into the abyss of human motivation and returned with insights that still make us uncomfortable. Today, his understanding of the will to power, the fundamental drive behind all human action, provides the key to unlocking the mystery of why women consistently crave what seems just beyond their reach. Pay close attention, because what I'm about to share with you isn't just theory. It's a revelation that will fundamentally alter how you understand the women in your life. The truth may be difficult to accept at first, but as Nietzsche himself said, "The doer alone learneth." It's time to stop being a passive recipient of cultural programming and become the architect of your own reality. Are you ready to take the philosophical red pill? To see beyond the matrix of conventional wisdom and understand what truly drives female desire? Then let's begin this journey into the depths of Nietzschean insight, a journey that will forever change how you navigate the complex landscape of attraction and desire. The modern relationship dynamic has become a labyrinth of confusion for most men. You've been told to be kind, understanding, available, essentially to make yourself an open book. Yet time and again, you've watched as women gravitate toward those who represent the opposite. Men who maintain distance, who embody challenge, who remain somewhat unattainable. This isn't a coincidence. It's a manifestation of what Nietzsche called the will to power. Not power as domination, but as the fundamental drive to overcome resistance. In his masterwork, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche wrote, "Where I found a living creature, there I found will to power." This principle operates in every aspect of human psychology, but nowhere is it more evident than in the realm of desire. Consider this. Have you ever noticed how quickly interest fades when something is too easily obtained? The prize that requires no effort ultimately holds little value. This isn't a quirk of human psychology, it's its very foundation. And women, perhaps more acutely than men, operate according to this principle in their romantic pursuits. The modern dating marketplace has created a paradox. Technology has made connection easier than ever before, yet meaningful attraction seems increasingly elusive. Dating apps have created an illusion of infinite choice, but this hasn't led to greater satisfaction, quite the opposite. As options increase, so does the desire for something beyond the immediately available. What Nietzsche understood, and what modern men have forgotten, is that desire isn't sustained by fulfillment, it's sustained by pursuit. The most common form of human stupidity, he observed, is forgetting what one is trying to do. Men have forgotten that in the dance of attraction, the goal isn't to eliminate the dance by immediately presenting everything you have to offer. This is where the fundamental misunderstanding occurs. You've been told that authenticity means complete transparency, that showing interest means making yourself completely available. But this approach fundamentally misaligns with the deeper mechanics of desire, particularly female desire. Women don't simply want what is good, they want what is good and difficult to obtain. The challenge itself becomes an essential component of the desire. As Nietzsche might put it, the object of desire must represent something to be overcome, a height to be scaled, a resistance that proves one's worthiness through its conquest. This isn't manipulation or game playing. It's recognizing a fundamental truth about human psychology that has been obscured by modern comfort ideologies. The unattainable is not merely desired because it is scarce. It is desired because the very act of pursuing it allows for the expression of the will to power, the drive to overcome that lies at the heart of all human motivation. And here's where we approach an even deeper truth about female desire, one that will shake the foundations of everything you've been taught. What I'm about to reveal goes beyond conventional wisdom. It strikes at the very core of what generates and sustains desire. Nietzsche's concept of will to overcoming provides the philosophical framework for understanding why challenge is not merely an element of attraction, but its very essence. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. This famous Nietzschean quote isn't just about personal adversity. It precisely describes the mechanism of desire. Resistance, when calibrated correctly, doesn't diminish desire. It intensifies it. This is why the man who presents no challenge, who is immediately and completely available, paradoxically becomes less desirable despite his virtues. Consider how Nietzsche described the nature of joy in The Gay Science. What is the seal of liberation? No longer being ashamed in front of oneself. But liberation requires something to be liberated from. Constraint, challenge, the opportunity to exercise one's will against resistance. Without this element, there can be no victory, no overcoming, and consequently, no deep satisfaction. Women intuitively understand this dynamic. Their attraction isn't a static response to qualities, but a living process that requires tension. This tension, the space between desire and fulfillment, is where attraction lives and breathes. Remove the tension, and you remove the very life force of desire itself. The philosopher recognized that humans don't simply want, they want to want. The state of desiring itself provides a vitality that mere satisfaction cannot. This is why the immediate fulfillment of every wish actually diminishes the experience rather than enhancing it. As Nietzsche observed, the most perfidious way of harming a cause consists of defending it deliberately with faulty arguments. Similarly, the most perfidious way of killing attraction is by removing all barriers to its fulfillment. Look closely at any intense romantic connection. What sustains it isn't constant affirmation and availability. It's the ongoing dance of approach and distance, revelation and mystery, possession and pursuit. This rhythm creates a psychological space where the will to power can express itself through conquest and achievement. Women are not drawn to the unattainable simply out of perversity or confusion. They are responding to a profound psychological truth. That which is easily gained is easily dismissed. The value of anything, including a man's attention, affection, and commitment, is proportional to the challenge involved in obtaining it. This isn't about creating artificial scarcity or playing manipulative games. It's about understanding that in the natural order of desire, challenge isn't an obstacle to connection. It's the very pathway through which meaningful connection is established. And now we approach the darker, more profound truth that Nietzsche understood about female desire. A truth that explains why women consistently choose the man who represents a mountain to be climbed rather than a path of least resistance. Here is where we venture into the abyss of understanding that few men are prepared to face. The truth about why women crave the unattainable lies in what Nietzsche called amor fati, the love of fate, including all its suffering and challenges. For in the female psyche, desire is inextricably linked not to happiness but to meaning. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. This Nietzschean insight reveals something profound about female attraction. Women aren't seeking mere pleasure or ease in their romantic pursuits. They're seeking meaning through overcoming. The unattainable man represents not just a challenge, but a purpose, a why that justifies the struggle. What society has concealed from you is that female desire operates within a paradox. Women are most attracted to men whose full attention and commitment they cannot completely secure. This isn't because women enjoy suffering. It's because the uncertainty creates a space where their will to power can express itself, where the conquest has genuine significance. Nietzsche's concept of eternal recurrence, his thought experiment about living the same life infinitely, provides another key insight. Ask yourself, would a woman choose to repeatedly live a life where everything romantic comes easily, where there is no conquest, no victory, no overcoming? Or would she choose the life containing the exhilarating pursuit of something just beyond reach? The answer reveals an uncomfortable truth. The ease of complete availability creates not satisfaction, but existential boredom. As Nietzsche wrote, "In heaven, all the interesting people are missing." Similarly, in the realm of effortless conquest, all meaningful desire is absent. Look at any woman's romantic history objectively. You'll notice a pattern where periods of highest attraction coincide not with complete security, but with moments of uncertainty, times when she was still proving herself, still conquering, still expressing her will to power through the pursuit of something not fully possessed. This explains why the moment a man becomes completely available, when he removes all challenge, all mystery, all opportunity for a woman to exercise her will to overcome, he unwittingly extinguishes the very flames of desire he sought to fan. The most counterintuitive aspect of this dynamic is that women themselves are often unaware of this mechanism. When asked directly, they may genuinely believe they want consistency, availability, and transparency. And at one level they do, but not at the expense of the vital tension that sustains desire. As Nietzsche observed, there is always some madness in love. But there is also always some reason in madness. The seeming madness of craving the unattainable has a profound evolutionary and psychological reason. It ensures that a woman's investment goes to the man who represents genuine value. Value, proven precisely by the fact that he is not easily attained. And now, we approach the crucial insight that will transform how you understand the interplay of power and desire in every interaction with women. The dance between men and women is fundamentally a dance of power, not domination, but the expression of Nietzsche's will to power in its most refined form. All things are subject to interpretation. Whichever interpretation prevails at a given time is a function of power and not truth. This Nietzschean insight cuts to the heart of attraction dynamics. In every interaction, there exists what modern dating theorists might call frame, the underlying reality that determines who is pursuing whom. Nietzsche understood this as the question of who possesses the stronger will, whose interpretation of reality prevails. And herein lies a brutal truth. When a man surrenders his frame entirely, when he allows a woman's reality to completely subsume his own, he paradoxically becomes less attractive to her. This is because women don't desire men who merely reflect their own will back to them. They desire men who possess what Nietzsche called the makings of the Übermensch, or Superman. Not a physical ideal, but a man who has transcended conventional limitations and established his own values. A man who cannot be easily swayed or controlled precisely because he is self-governing. The unattainable man is not merely playing hard to get. He is genuinely directed by his own internal compass. His scarcity is not artificial, but a natural consequence of his self-sufficiency. He embodies what Nietzsche described when he wrote, "The noble soul has reverence for itself." This self-reverence creates a natural boundary that must be crossed, a challenge that must be overcome. Consider how quickly attraction dissolves when a man makes a woman the center of his existence. What appears to be devotion actually signals a fundamental weakness, an absence of the internal direction that makes a man compelling. As Nietzsche observed, when 100 men stand together, each loses his mind and gets another one. The man who loses his individual mind in the collective approval of women has surrendered the very quality that made him desirable in the first place. He has abandoned his position as a mountain to be climbed and become instead a valley to be passed through. Look at the men who consistently inspire deep feminine desire. What unites them isn't physical perfection or material success. It's an unshakable sense of self-direction. They represent what Nietzsche called becoming who you are, the authentic expression of one's own nature regardless of external expectations. This creates a fascinating paradox. The man most desired by women is not the one most responsive to their immediate wishes, but the one who represents a worthy challenge to their will, to power. He is desired precisely because he cannot be fully possessed, because complete possession would end the very game that gives attraction its life force. But here is where we arrive at the most profound revelation. The path forward is not manipulation or artificial scarcity, but something far more revolutionary. The solution is not to simply become unavailable or to manufacture scarcity. Such superficial tactics might create temporary interest, but fail to sustain genuine desire. The Nietzschean path is far more profound. It requires becoming a man who is naturally challenging, not through strategy, but through authentic self-actualization. Become who you are. This imperative from Nietzsche provides the philosophical foundation for genuine attractiveness. The truly unattainable man isn't playing a game. He's pursuing his own vision with such intensity that his attention and validation become valuable precisely because they're directed by something beyond the immediate gratification of others. Consider Nietzsche's concept of self-overcoming, the continuous process of transcending one's current limitations. The man engaged in constant self-overcoming naturally embodies challenge because he's perpetually evolving beyond what he was yesterday. This creates not an artificial scarcity, but an authentic one. He is genuinely focused on his evolution, rather than primarily on seeking approval. He who would learn to fly one day must first learn to stand and walk and run and climb and dance. One cannot fly into flying. This progression Nietzsche described applies directly to becoming naturally attractive. You don't begin by trying to be mysterious or unavailable. You begin by building a life of such meaning and purpose that your attention becomes valuable because it's directed by genuine passion. The women in your life should sense that winning your complete focus requires meeting the standards you've set for yourself, not out of arrogance or game playing, but because your life has a direction that matters to you. This creates natural tension without manipulation, the tension between your purpose and the desire for connection. Nietzsche's concept of amor fati, loving one's fate, provides another crucial element. The man who fully embraces his life, including its struggles, projects confidence not born of conquest, but of acceptance. This creates a gravitational pull that doesn't require conscious effort to maintain. Look at how Nietzsche described the free spirit. Not someone without commitments, but someone whose commitments arise from his own nature, rather than external expectations. This is the essence of natural challenge, being guided by internal rather than external validation. The truly unattainable quality women crave isn't your absence. It's your authentic presence directed by something beyond their immediate approval. When you're genuinely engaged in your own becoming, you create the conditions for desire without contrivance. This path requires courage. As Nietzsche said, the secret of realizing the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment of existence is to live dangerously. Living dangerously means risking rejection by standing firmly in your own values, rather than morphing yourself to secure approval. The Nietzschean man doesn't need to play hard to get, because his genuine commitments make his time and attention naturally valuable. He doesn't fear losing a woman because his sense of purpose exists independent of any particular relationship. This creates not callousness, but a compelling center of gravity. And this brings us to the final revelation, the ultimate implementation of these principles in your life. He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. This profound Nietzschean truth must become the foundation of your approach to women and life itself. Your attractiveness isn't determined by techniques or strategies, but by the compelling vision you have for your own existence. Today, you stand at a crossroads. You can continue down the path of seeking validation through constant availability, surrendering your frame in hope of approval, or you can embrace the philosopher's path of becoming genuinely unattainable, not through games, but through purpose. The question is not whether you will apply these insights, but whether you have the courage to implement them authentically. As Nietzsche challenged us, the most spiritual men, as the strongest, find their happiness where others would find their destruction. Will you find strength in the very challenges that destroy lesser men? Begin today, not by withdrawing or playing games, but by reconnecting with the vision for your life that exists independent of female validation. Become so engrossed in your own becoming that your attention becomes naturally valuable, not because you artificially restrict it, but because it's genuinely directed by purpose. Remember, that which does not kill us makes us stronger. The temporary discomfort of standing in your own frame, of risking disapproval by maintaining your standards, will forge you into precisely the man women find irresistible, not despite your challenge, but because of it. The unattainable is not about being unreachable, but about being uncompromising in your self-direction. When you truly understand this, you'll see that what women crave isn't the man who cannot be had, but the man who cannot be easily swayed from his path. Now, take the first step on your Nietzschean journey. Become the mountain worth climbing.